Hey travelers, today we're talking about the COVID vaccine and whether or not proof of vaccination is going to be a requirement for travel in 2021. So the reality is, looking at how the borders were shut down in Australia and New Zealand and how effectively they were able to shut down the virus, looking to that, I think it's reasonable to assume that there will be some requirement for proof of vaccination for some countries. There's already airlines that have talked about this being a future requirement. There will be certain countries that will require this, and I think it's fairly certain to say that if you're going to go on a cruise ship, that is going to be a requirement. None of them have specifically said that they're going to go in this direction, but I think if we look at the industry as a whole, we can see that, the cruise lines they've tried to come back somewhat successfully, somewhat unsuccessfully, simply by doing testing before boarding the ship. But I think that there's going to have to be some restrictions in place early on in order to at least have things return back to normal. Now in 2022, 2023, is this going to be a requirement? I don't know, but it for the short term, I think is something that a lot of cruise lines, airlines, countries are going to be looking at in order to manage the virus. Now, whether or not you choose to get vaccinated is entirely up to you. I'm obviously not a medical professional, so you need to talk to your doctor. Do remember that your right to travel is not a right, it's a privilege. So when you want to travel internationally, if you desperately need to be at a resort on an all-inclusive vacation or taking a cruise somewhere, remember that it is entirely up to your airline carrier, the hotel, the country that you're entering, or the cruise line. It's entirely up to any of them to put restrictions in place, much like they've done in the past with requiring a negative COVID test upon arrival. So, who knows what will happen, but I would predict that there will be some requirements that are put into place next year as the vaccinations start to roll out. Time will tell. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.